Good evening and welcome to the Invictus Racing League Tier 2 for round number 8 at the United States Grand Prix in partnership with gridfinder.com. And as always, my co-commentator Bruce Lee Harning is on his way. He's just a little bit late, but he will be with me in the comms box once again. For sprint race format tonight, round the 5.5 kilometer Circuit of the Americas circuit located in Texas in the United States. Interesting fact, we do have a sprint race tonight, so it is one shot qualifying followed by a sprint race and a feature race. Pole position last season in Tier 2 of the PlayStation League was Sunboy with a 1 minute 33.844, and I believe my co-commentator has turned up. Good evening, Bruce.
Good evening. Yeah, apologies, guys. I finally made it. We've got a lunatic on the track now. Yeah, massive apologies. Every commentator's worst nightmare, a shower failure 20 minutes before the race, but all good. I'm here.
Absolutely. Obviously, sprint format tonight, 10 seconds to we get into one-shot qualifying. We're right on board with someone, just go through a lap, because unfortunately you can only really see one car. And if you start flicking through, you don't really get to see a lot of the lap. So Keza is the man we're going to be on board with them as we come out of the final corner under auto. So here we go, 5.5 kilometers, Circuit of the Americas, up towards turn number 1, uphill, braking into an acute hairpin left. Down to third. Down the hill into 2, should be flat in these dry conditions. And then into the S's of such like Silverstones, Maggots and Beckett's of 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 tightens on the exit of it. You'll be to the right hand side for 7 to open it up. 8 and 9, always tricky. Got to be careful with the rear end. Will like to step over the crest of the left hander. Crest of 10, and then down to the hairpin of 11, which brings us to technically the first DRS zone of the lap. This back straight will show you as Joe Hamster's retired, so he's actually crashed the car. Down the back straight with DRS open. Long 7th gear up for Keza as he reaches about 194, 195. He hits the brakes at the 100 meter board into turn 12. 13, 14, again, very tricky. Back end will want to step out as there's a slight crest between the two corners. Then it says Bahrain corner of turn 15, late entry, late apex. Then the almost quadruple right hand, even though it's only notified as 3 turns, a bit like Istanbul, the wrong direction. Turn 19, very fast, flick it left, don't run wide, you'll get your lap invalidated. Turn 20, a tighter than it looks left-hander into the second DRS zone. So Ricey Spicy puts on pole, Simply second, Owen third, Keza fourth, and we will run through the whole order very, very shortly. But Ryan just finishing off his lap. Good time though from Ricey Spicy.
Yeah, carry on his pace, his outright raw pace from Spa. So yeah, he'll be delighted with that. Obviously, I want to turn it into a bit of a better race than Spa turned out. But yeah, great effort. And yeah, he'll be very pleased, I'm sure.
Absolutely. And Bruce, would you like to take us through the grid order for the sprint race?
Indeed. Okay, so yeah, so Ricey Spicy there setting pole in the Red Bull and sharing the front row there, Simply 90. Owen and Keza on the second row with Lewis and Ivan 5th and 6th. Scotty 7th and Kent in 8th. Kuiper's 9th, Sunboy 10th. SFR Martin and Ruddo 11th and 12th, with JC Battle and Matty Rudd in 13th and 14th. Just looking further down the list now, we've got Melanade in 15th, sharing the 8th row with Ginger Tiger. Ryan with no time, and Blackside, Pampo and Joe Hamster either getting their laps disqualified or crashing out of qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely. A quick reminder whilst we're loading into the sprint of the standings, the top 5 for the drivers. The Ivan Belov leads the way on 48, Ruddo on 46, Owen 44, Scotty has 43 and Kuiper's on 42. And the top 5 for constructors, McLaren has 74. They've opened up a little bit of a gap at the top. Haas on 57, Alpine 49, AlphaTauri 48, and Aston Martin 43. So good evening to everyone who has joined. This is the Invictus Racing League Tier 2 in partnership with gridfind.com. And it looks like, unlike yesterday, it's going to be a dry sprint race.
Yes, and from what I believe, also a dry feature race as well, main race rather. So yeah, it's a stark contrast to the sprint race from yesterday. Very tricky conditions yesterday, but nice and dry today.
And I don't know if you've seen any weather reports or anything like that, but you never know, you might have a bit of a wet main race instead.
I believe it's still going to be dry for both, so yeah, who knows? Sometimes it's very wrong now, so anything's possible, I suppose.
So 15 seconds till we get underway then.
It should be a good race. I think before it starts, the closeness of the championship at the top 5 is testament really to how competitive the races have been, but also the chaotic nature of the races. So yeah, this could be good.
Yeah, so the McLaren's leading the way in constructors. They're having a good time, although they've had a bit of a bad qualifying tonight after that one shot. But we have the 5 red lights, and we are green for the sprint race at the Americas, and it looks like Ricey Spicy's got a good getaway, back getaway from the other Red Bull of Lewis the Beaker. So into turn 1, side by side, we got 3 wide, nearly 4 wide on the exit of the corner, but it looks like have we got away unscathed? Still very much some battling in the background, but looks like everyone's sorted themselves out as we head through the S's for the first time tonight. Oh, a bit of contact, I think, between Alfa Romeo and AlphaTauri. Looks like they just about get away with it, though. But Ricey Spicy leads the way from Owen and Simply as they go over the crest of turn 11. Bruce, anything of note?
No, slight bit kind of Melonade runs wide there out of the complex section there. But yeah, no, very clean. Couple of little bits of banging of wheels, but nothing drastic. So yeah, a really good start for everyone.
Everyone on the medium tyre, probably to be expected. The tyre wear is a little bit harsh around here. So it's going to be interesting as it looks like Lewis the Beaker looking down the inside of Kent, but can't quite make that move. Meanwhile, Kuipers and Blackside were side by side at the end of the back straights, and Kuipers into 14th. Another driver who's up in the top 5 fight, who's going to have to recover here through this sprint race and try and get himself in the best possible place for the feature.
Yeah, really at this stage of the race, you're sort of settling in. Obviously, only a 10-lap sprint race, so you want to make moves as quickly as you can, but it's nice to just get bedded into the circuit for a couple of laps and then try and start to make some moves. I mean, Ruddo was up to 9th at one point, I believe, and he's just dropped down a couple of places. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but yeah, there's a few guys in the championship fight, as you say, that are a bit further down the order than you'd expect.
Yeah. Lewis the Beaker gets past Kent, and Blackside was having a look at the AlphaTauri of Kuipers, but nothing doing there. Lewis, he's got some strong pace here, I think, especially at the start of this race, but overtaking is always going to be quite hard around the Americas, apart from that DRS zone on the back straight. It looks like a little bit of a moment there for Kent as Scotty goes to the outside down towards turn 11. The question is, can he keep it there? Still side by side. Good driving from the pair. Space left. Scotty should get the drive out of the corner, which he does. And 7th place is that of the Aston Martins.
Yeah, SFR Martin also now closing up on Kent. I think he could get the pair of them here. It's going to be a great move here for Martin.
Down the inside of Scotty he goes, and it is a double overtake from the Williams. Oh, and Kent's just had a little bit of a shove from Scotty. Nothing too major, though. Keza has side by side with Simply through 15 into 16, 17, 18. This is dodgy to go side by side with. One mistake and it's all over for the pair of you. And there he goes, Simply round. Touch of contact. And that is the risk you have going side by side through that triple apex right-hander.
Yeah, that's unfortunate there for Simply. As you say, very risky going around there. There's a little bit of bumping a little bit further back between Ryan and Blackside as well. But yeah, for Simply now, that area, unfortunately now, it's about as useful as an ashtray on a motorcycle.
Yeah, absolutely. And Pampoen kind of let Simply by there. I don't know whether he had the game forced him to give that back. But Melanade will now look around the outside into the S's, and the right decision to back out of that move. Ruddo is on the back of JC Batagul, but again, just can't quite find that move yet, although DRS now active, and we're going to have two trains here, I think. The first starting with Ricey Spicy, the second starting with Martin.
Yeah, obviously Martin now dropping, or being 1.7 behind Lewis means that it's going to be those two breakaway fights now. As Ruddo now gets a run on JC Batagul, and that looks like job done well before the corner. So yeah, looks quite nicely done, that.
Yeah, nice job from Ruddo. Matty Rudd in 11th at the moment. Obviously, for this sprint, the top 5 score points, 5-1 in the respective order.
Big wobble from Ruddo there on the throttle. He's held it together, but just dropped slightly off the back of Kent. He'll be wanting to close that up before they get to the next DRS zone, or we could have another breakaway battle.
Yeah, and that's I think he's in there because the detection point for the main straight is just before the penultimate corner. So I think Ruddo's just about stayed within DRS there. Further behind, Kuipers is trying to make some moves as he's on the back of Sunboy up towards turn 1. Sunboy defends, the AlphaTauri goes to the outside line. And Kuipers not quite able to make that one stick for now, but I think we'll probably see a move at some point from the AlphaTauri, especially if they keep battling and once again create a gap bigger than DRS.
Yeah, the race just settling out a little bit now. Obviously, everyone's in their sort of within a half a second range of each other. Kent now has dropped over a second behind Scotty. I think he's a bit of blast of ERS here just to close the gap again before the DRS detection zone. Unsure if that works or not.
So now, yes, he did get DRS. So good work from Kent. Ruddo looking to close that gap, as I think Melanade's been overtaken by Ginger Tiger, who is another driver who we'd expect more near the sharp end in Ginger Tiger.
Well, no, unfortunately, he's made on Keza with a 3-second penalty. That could be disastrous come the end of the race.
Especially in a sprint where you don't have a lot of time to break away.
And so Johansson making 4 places off the start, but again, unfortunately, a 3-second penalty, and it's just going to undo all the hard work straight away as he runs very, very wide out of the penultimate corner.
Yeah, this is the problem now for Keza, is that his biggest rival is his teammate now, because obviously Ivan is behind in the within that penalty zone, but the problem is if Ivan starts to hassle Keza a little bit, it becomes a lot worse for Keza, and he'll probably drop down further, so they're going to have to work together, those hasses.
Yeah, I mean, depending on how much of teammates they are, Ivan could slow things down a little bit to give Keza that 3-second gap, but then obviously he's at the risk from Lewis to Bika. As it stands at the moment, Keza still looks like he'll get 5th on a point for the sprint, even with that 3-second penalty. So obviously it's not ideal, but it's not the end of the world as it stands.
Meanwhile, Joe Hamster and Pampoen battling it out through turn 11. Scotty gets past Martin. We'll have a quick look at that side by side. That is done. Ruddo looking down the inside of Kent. That move gets completed by the McLaren. This is good news for him. Still side by side between Kuipers and Sunboy. Kuipers looking to make this move on Sunboy round the outside, and lovely way to complete that move after the back straight. And Ryan puts one down the inside of turn 15. That is very opportunistic from the Ferrari, but once again, through this triple apex right-hander, he decides to back out of it. Probably the better part of Valor, that.
Yeah, I think Martin here will be looking to have a go at Scotty, although he's not had a great exit there at the final corner. And Ruddo's similar exit too, so Scotty got an excellent drive there out of the final corner. And yeah, he's going to be hanging on a little bit here, I think, come the end of the race.
I mean, looking at how it all panned out last night, I mean, these mediums did start to cry for a few people around the 10 lap mark, so as Blackside picks up a 3-second penalty. Yeah, these tyres did cry for a few people last night, come around lap 10, so it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out for everyone, as Melonade is the latest to pick up a penalty with a yellow flag. Not quite sure what for, but we stay green for now as Lewis. I believe, what's happened to Ricey Spicy? It's Ricey Spicy that caused the yellow flag, because he's down to 5th.
Okay, yes. So yeah, I think we both completely missed that, unfortunately. That just shows how little we expected Ricey Spicy to make that mistake, I think. But yeah, that's a bit not ideal. Obviously, going from 1st to 5th is never ideal for anyone. But he's still in the hunt. He's still in the hunt for that sprint win.
Yeah, Rudder gets past Martin. Matty Rudd in 10th, having to fend off the Ferrari of JC Batical, who's got Kuipers for company. Ricey Spicy, it'd be interesting because tyres. Ooh, that's an interesting look for Kuipers. Didn't quite pay off.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to try and go all the way around the outside, but just couldn't do it. And another yellow. That's for Melonade, I think. He's spun out, unfortunately, out. And he's a long way behind the rest of the pack now.
Here comes Kuipers looking up the inside of JC Batical. Later on the brakes, JC Batical will look for the switchback. He has got the drive. Question is, has he got the bravery to stick around on the outside of 2? And the answer is he didn't quite have enough alongside. Another yellow flag. That's simply at turn 1.
It's going horribly wrong for Simply this race, isn't it? It's very much a bit of a disaster. Obviously, he's still got the main race to try and come back on. But yeah, he wouldn't have expected some Kuipers as well with a penalty now.
I mean, this track is easy to pick up penalties. Obviously, Kuiper did get past JC Batigal, so he's trying to hunt down Matty Rudd now. But as I say, Matty's actually going to probably look for a move on Kent, who does have DRS, but did lose a lot of time to Martin in the hairpin.
Yeah, Kent's car does look to be harvesting at the moment as well. So all big slideways for Matty Rudd. So yeah, he's going to be looking at this thinking he's got a chance here with Kent harvesting right now.
I think they both were harvesting at the end of that straight. A lot of people using up their ERS allowance. Yeah, Matty Rudd on the harvest at the moment. Sunboy and Ryan.
A little bit of contact. Room left though, enough room left there.
Yeah, just about clean enough as Matty Rudd now looking for a move.
Yeah, that's going to be job done, I think, by Matty, unless he misses his braking point here. But I think that's job done. Oh, he's driving to the back of Matty. And he's round. He saved it.
That looked like contact between him and JC Batigal, if I'm not mistaken.
Simply retires in the pits. A bit of a surprise. But, yeah, I think, saved by the Ferrari of JC Batigal a little bit there.
So we head on to lap number 8 of this sprint race. And it may be small, this race, but it's definitely action-packed. And Matty Rudd, you feel Matty Rudd's about to be overtaken by Kuiper. So both of them struggling on the ice. 2 people go wide. That looked like Joe Hamster and someone, possibly JC Batigal. Although Kuiper's not gaining as much as I thought he would on Matty Rudd.
Very late on the brakes here from Pampo and trying to go in. There's a massive battle here towards the back end of the places right now, which seems to be where the main battles are. It's close at the front, and there seems to be fairly spread out in the middle of the pack. And yeah, right at the back, there's a hell of a dogfight going on right now.
Yeah, I mean, this not for points, but it is for grid position for the feature. Joe Hamster, the person who's made up the most places, 7 places he made up as Pampoen picks up another penalty. You get the feeling now is probably a good time to release Ginger Tiger, although Ginger Tiger just hasn't looked like he's been on the pace tonight.
Again, a lot depends on, obviously they're in the same team in game, but are they communicating with each other? It's quite unlikely, I should imagine, with Ginger and Pampo, and with Pampo being a late addition to the full-time driver roster. So, yeah, it's highly unlikely, I think, that Pampo will be letting Ginger Tiger pass anytime soon.
Meanwhile,
Lewis with a 3-second penalty.
Yeah, meanwhile, the Haas's, I think, are about to swap positions. Yet there goes Ivan into second place for now. The wise thing to do, they kind of want to play leapfrog with each other now on this last lap. Because the thing is, it doesn't matter which way round they finish. Keza will be behind Ivan courtesy of the penalty. If they can work together as Kuipers and Matty Rudd side by side, just call the end of it. Oh, and Kuipers into the back of Matty Rudd.
Taps him as well. So they're getting very feisty. Is he going to try and send it? Oh, not quite enough room to make the move. Good defending there from Matty Rudd.
Yeah, Ryan looks to the outside, but it's actually going to be Sunboy who almost decides to make a move at the inside of the Istanbul reverse. This is getting a little bit chaotic in the mid-pack.
But Ivan has closed the gap by 4 tenths to Owen. So is this Kaza releasing Ivan to maybe try and attack Owen on this last lap? He seems to have very good pace, Ivan, so you'd have to think he's got a great chance here against Owen.
It's either that or Owen's tyres have fallen off a cliff, because if Owen's running slightly lower wings, the tyres will scrub a little bit more on the surface. So I wonder if Owen's mediums are crying now, which isn't really not a good indication for the race.
Kuipers with a 3-second penalty. Is that his second one, I believe, isn't it?
I believe so, yes. And Sunboy and Joe Hamster were battling it out there. Sunboy just about.
From Owen. Owen's harvesting, Ivan's closing the gap. I think he's not going to have quite enough legs down the straight. Can he get a switchback? It's very defensive from Owen, almost unnecessarily so, but he's got great drive off that corner. I think it's going to be tough now for Ivan to get past him.
Yeah, we'll follow this all the way to the end. Ryan gets past Kuipers. Kuipers gets back past Ryan. And they switch once again. They're still side by side as we head up towards turn 13. Got a yellow flag, and that is Lewis the Beaker. That looks like Ambition well ahead of Adhesion there through the Istanbul corner for the Red Bull. But it is Owen who takes the sprint victory from Ivan Belov. Ricey Spicy will take third. Kezo will come home in fourth, and he'll stay there as Scotty picks up the last point on offer, followed by Rudder by just 4 tenths. SFR Martin finishes 7th. Lewis the Beaker on track is 8th. Will stay 8th as Matty Rudd finishes 9th. Ryan 10th. Sunboy 11th. JC Battigal 12th. Ginger Tiger 13th. Joe Hamster 14th. Kuipers 15th. Pampoan is in 16th. Kent 17th. Blackside 18th. Melanade will be home in 19th with Simply Retired. And yeah, that kicked off quite quickly near the end there.
It did, yeah. It's one of those tracks, isn't it, where it can settle down for a little while. So towards the end there, I think Blackside was sort of running mid to low sort of teens area, and he spun at Istanbul as well, which dropped him right down to the back. So yeah, he'll be disappointed with that. But yeah, it sets it up perfectly for the race. We know Ricey Spicy's got some great pace here. Obviously that mistake's dropped him back down further than he probably should have been. But there's a few guys that have great pace that have just not quite clicked in that sprint race. But yeah, with plenty of laps to go now in the main race, it could shake up quite a bit.
Yeah, do you want to take us through the grid for the feature then?
I can. It's Owen on pole with Ivan Belov in second, Ricey Spicy and Keza on the second row, Scotty 5th and Ruddo 6th, Martin 7th and Lewis the Beaker 8th, Matty Rudd, Ryan, Sunboy and JC Battigal. Then Ginger Tiger, Joe Hamster, Kuipers, Pampoan, Kent, Blackside, Melanade, and at the back after a DNF is Simply 90.
So there we go. It's worth noting as well, the fastest lap last season was set by Easty Mats in a Williams, a 136.280. And being that it looks dry, I have faith that might get beaten potentially by this season's drivers. They've shown this season it's incredible pace, this Tier 2 league. And it's always tight. You're always looking at potentially a different winner.
Yeah, it seems at the moment like the championship that no one wants to win at the moment. So we've had guys start to have a really good run of form, a few podiums in a row, and then have a couple of non-scoring rounds. So yeah, consistency is everything really in this championship. I think I don't think it's necessarily always about winning races. Obviously, it's quite important, but I think getting those consistent sort of top four finishes is what could win someone the championship this season.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen it in other leagues where consistency really is king. Yeah, 7 seconds to go before we get underway. This really is anyone's to call. Obviously, if Owen's pace at the end is something to go by, his tyres may not be lasting very long. But we have the 5 red lights, and we are green for the United States Grand Prix, and it looks like Owen's got a good getaway. Bad getaway for Rodo then, by the looks of it. Lots of wheel spin, and they're 4 wide. 3 wide now as we head through turn number 1. Spin for the Williams, that's Martin. He's gone round. I think everyone else has made it through cleanly, and it is Owen who leads the way from Ricey Spicy, Ivan and Keza. Looks like Kent's going backwards as we head through the S's now. But other than that one spin of Martin, it looks like he's not lost too much. Granted, he's at the back, but he's still with the field.
Yeah, unbelievably for Kent, he went screaming down the outside up to turn 1, made up a load of places, got bumped slightly wide off circuit, and I think the game may have told him to hand positions back, which is a little bit unfair because he was nudged off the track. So yeah, he had made it up to about 12th, I think. So obviously forced to give positions back, which is a shame for him because he did absolutely nothing wrong really.
Yeah, and this is absolute chaos down the back straight. Everyone looking for a gap, everyone looking for a move. The McLaren's under attack from the Ferraris. And we have a spin lead. Isn't that Joe?
I think so. I couldn't quite see it. Yeah, I don't know if there was contact. I just saw him sideways across the road. So yeah, not great for Joe after making up a few places there in the sprint. He's now back down to the back.
Pampoen battling with JC Battigal, can't quite find the place though. Black side is there in case of a mistake. This is for the final points playing position on lap number 1. They have to be careful. They don't want to lose too much time here because already JC Battigal is flirting with the gap for the DRS zone. They're going to want to make sure they stay within that DRS of Ryan to keep that kind of DRS train to keep up with pace of the field. But so far, everyone will have DRS as it currently stands when we go on to lap number 3. Interesting to know though, Lee, Owen on hard tyres, as is Sunboy, Ginger Tiger, Simply. Most drivers opting for the medium compound.
Yeah, it's a stark contrast to last night, really. A lot of people went the hards to start yesterday, so yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Obviously, if Owen can hold off everyone on the hards, he's going to be in a prime position towards the end of the race on the mediums, while everyone else is scrabbling around for grip, because we know those hards don't grip particularly great around this circuit.
Kent looking to the outside of black side as we head through the hairpin, and there's an AlphaTauri and a Williams just behind looking to take any crumbs they can. That is Kuipers and Sunboy. Blackside will claim the place for now as we head down towards the 90-degree left-hander of turn 12.
YC and Owen are fighting here for the lead.
We'll have a look at that then. A lot to cover in this Tier 2 race as Owen just about holding on. I mean, this is kind of expected here at the front with Owen on those hard tyres. It's going to take him probably another lap to get them fully fired up. But I think once they're fired, the hards probably aren't too bad on pace.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as well, we've got Ivan up the inside now, with Ricey after running slightly wide there at the penultimate corner. So yeah, Ivan back in front of Ricey Spicy. And we've got a yellow flag in sector 3, which is Martin, who's gone round again. Yeah, we saw yesterday with the mediums, they were good probably.
Oh, Ricey Spicy's round. Ricey Spicy, he went round the outside of Ivan, and the car, again, he went wide and it looked like he just spun off the curb. He's not having a good day, and it was a similar thing in Spa-Francorchamps. He had good pace, but he just kept making slight errors, and once again, it's come to bite him.
Yeah, it's undeniable that Ricey Spicy has the pace. You know, he's got the pace to be up there week in, week out. But it's just cutting those mistakes out. Obviously, we know it's tough at this level of racing. You're sort of on the edge quite a lot. It's just slightly positioned awkwardly on that curve, and that's it, isn't it? Sometimes, yeah, unfortunate, but you know, still a long way to go.
Absolutely, and Ruddo is kind of in danger at the moment. He's 8/10 behind Scotty. He's not going to want to lose this this DRS advantage, or at least DRS help that he can receive.
Yeah, you'd have to say at the moment, though, with Owen on the hards, it's likely to sort of form a mild train behind himself. So, you know, Rudder will be looking at these guys in front, thinking all it takes is for one or two of them to get slightly side by side, and that's it. Then you'll catch straight back up with them. So Kent was 3 seconds already on lap 3.
Yeah, it's an average of a warning a lap, which is not really what you're looking for, because you're looking at then at about 27 seconds as Owen getting overtaken by Ivan into turn 1. That was probably to be expected with the DRS help and probably a bit of ERS, but Owen isn't going to give this one up easily, even though he knows he's on the slower tyre. He's going to try and bring Ivan back into play here for his own strategy.
Yeah, Ivan there just through the S's taking a lot sharper turns now, and Owen was a bit more straight line through it than Ivan. So definitely key there to managing those tyres, you know, to not put the workload through them. But yeah, as I was saying before Ricey went round, we found out last night really that the medium tyres were great up to about lap 9, and that's when they started to tail off a bit, and then that performance gap between the mediums and hards sort of closed up. So if Owen can sort of cling on really till lap 8, then he's got a great shout here of being in a great position come the pit stops.
Yeah, and flag that's Ginger Tiger around at the hairpin. Meanwhile, Scotty's still looking at the back of that Red Bull. We are looking at this top group effectively at the moment, which technically now extends all the way down to Pampoen in 10th.
Yeah, he's made a great start, Pampoen up to 10th there. That's fantastic. That's 6 places gained for him, and Blackside also has 6 places gained. So yeah, they've had great starts, the two of them. But yeah, as you say, once you get down to Kuipers and Blackside, the gaps are massive there, and that's another yellow flag.
That looks like Kent has gone round at the Istanbul, and I don't know what's happened here to Lewis the Beaker, but it looks like he's got a little bit squirrely coming out of the last corner, and he's now lost position to Scotty. Scotty, who has now picked up a 3-second time penalty for good measure, which is not going to help, especially when you're in a DRS train at present. But yeah, Lewis the Beaker, both Red Bulls seem to be struggling, kind of, one of them on braking and the other on corner exits.
Yeah, obviously it's hard to know what sort of wings the guys are running as well, so it could be that maybe the Red Bulls are running slightly lower wings. But yeah, Ruddo here will be looking to get past Lewis as well pretty quick. Matty Rudd's been in a bit of a battle here with Ryan.
Yeah. He's round he goes. I don't know if there was contact on the inside.
There was a little bit of wheel banging mid-corner, but then I don't know whether or not Matty was just a little bit too keen on the throttle, and it's spun him round, and I think he's going to get overtaken by Blackside here as well, although Matty seems to be holding that just about.
Yeah, that's a big shame for Matty. I mean, I'm hoping that there was no damage to the rear wing, because he did, the rear wing did hit the barrier after the spin, so hopefully there's no damage there. But the bigger news now, Lewis the Beaker is almost a second behind Scotty. Now, if that, I think he's just about kept DRS heading into the main straight, which is a crucial factor here for him. But because you have to feel that if Lewis the Beaker is, I think we got Matty Rudd round after turn 18.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Matty again. He's going from bad to worse, isn't it? Really, lucky ghost there for Ginger Tiger as he approached Matty.
It makes me wonder if he does actually have some rear wing damage, because that would be the typical corner that your car would go round on with a bad rear wing. Lots of lateral G-force and a bit of downforce required, so have to keep an eye on that one. But yeah, I feel Lewis Beaker, if he loses this DRS from Scotty, he's under massive threat from Ruddo for definite.
Absolutely, but it's kind of one of those sort of catch-22 situations for the likes of Ruddo and Ryan, because really at the moment in this period of the race, they kind of want Lewis to keep that DRS really, so that when they do if they can get past him, they're still in DRS themselves and on the next lap with the next guy in front. Obviously, it's all well and good getting past him, but if you're then over a second behind the guys in front, you're sort of in no man's land there. A little bit of battling going up ahead here from Owen and Keza.
Yeah, just having a quick look at JC Basco and Pampo, and they're side by side through 13-14, the Ferrari versus the Mercedes. And JC Basco is going to hold on to 8th place. I did see Pampoen returning to track from after going wide, so I don't quite know what happened there. But as you say, Keza all over the back of the Alpine. Ivan Belov 1.6 up the road, 1.8. But that's not a bad gap. If Owen can keep it there, he's got a good chance on the mediums to then reclose that and retake the lead. But this little battle is bringing Scotty, Lewis and Ruddo back into play as Keza gets past, and we have a Haas 1-2 at present.
Yeah, as you were watching that, an excellent move from Pampo in there into the penultimate corner. He made JC Battle go a little bit defensive and sort of switched back out of the penultimate corner and then got up the inside then at the final turn. So, yeah, great stuff from Pampo and a great showing from him. He'd be absolutely delighted with this.
Lewis the Beaker now has a 3-second time penalty, as does JC Battle. And this is very early. This is not what you're looking for in this Grand Prix. I mean, they're easy to pick up as Joe Hamster picks up a penalty himself.
Yeah, it's definitely looking a little bit too colourful on the left-hand side next to the timings with these flags for penalties. As you say, it's bad enough when you've got 2 warnings with about 10 laps left, let alone already having 3 seconds with only a quarter of the race gone.
Black side now. He's a bit of a cork in the bottle for this 11th place. Sunboy is going to be the first person in line, but that Alfa Romeo is an absolute weapon in a straight line. Here comes Joe Hamster around the outside of the Williams. This will be an impressive move. He's still got the car alongside, and that's a very nice move from Joe Hamster in the Aston Martin. He's going to have to make a fair few more of those. I think that was Ricey Spicy down the inside, bit of contact. Round goes Sunboy, and simply kind of got caught up in that there. As it looked like Sunboy's car didn't ghost until almost after simply nearly hit him.
We seem to be in a bit of a situation at the front now with Keza's dropped. He's now 2.7 behind Ivan. It's obviously great for Ivan. His teammates holding up the guys behind, but it's the guys behind are going to be starting to get frustrated. They can't quite get past him. He seems to be quite quick in a straight line. So yeah, slightly frustrating. Owen now will obviously be hoping he's getting into that phase where the mediums start to burn up a little bit. And he's doing well to hold this gap as it is.
Yes, it looks like Ruddo and Ryan going side by side at the hairpin of 11. Ruddo comes out on top in that little tussle. Luckily, both with DRS. Here comes Ryan. Ryan's car looks a little bit slippery. Maybe a bit of extra ERS on top as the Ferrari goes down the inside of Ruddo 24. And the Ferrari up into 6th place. And not too much time lost, which is good news for them. I mean, it looked like from Ruddo's point of view, once Ryan was alongside, he kind of just accepted that was what it was to not lose too much time as Joe Hamster goes round the outside of black side through 12, done almost identical when he was against Sunboy. And 11th place for Joe Hamster. Ricey Spicy does. Wow. I tell you what, that's an absolute carbon copy like he did against Sunboy, just without the contact.
He's still down the inside here. That was brilliant racing. That was a hell of a move there from Ricey Spicy. Really, really good. Really opportunistic. And yeah, black side now running wide.
It's very opportunistic, but it's very brave. I mean, you are trusting that the car next to you spots you there, as it looks like Lewis and Scotty swap places. The Red Bull up into 4th. But yeah, you are trusting that the car next to you spots you and doesn't just turn into the apex there. So it's good driving on both parts there.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, obviously, it's that risk that he could have easily overrun into the back of Joe Hamster, but it was very, very well judged on the brakes. And yeah, I'm sure he'll be smiling inside about that one.
Kuiper's up into 10th. He's looking at the back of JC Battigal at the moment. Pampoen a second ahead of JC Battigal. It's not been a bad drive this from Kuiper so far. It's definitely been more of a recovery drive from the AlphaTauri driver. But, so far it's not going too badly.
Owen now 1.3 behind Keza, so Keza's broken that DRS now from Owen. There's a yellow flag in second two, looks like that's Kent. Excuse me, but I think Owen will still be comfortable at the moment. He's only 4.5 behind behind Ivan Beloff, but obviously with the softer tyre to run at the end. I think he'll still be comfortable with his current position.
Yeah, it looks like Joe Hamster's going to come under threat from Ricey Spicy here as we have another yellow flag. That looks like Sunboy's gone round at 18. Oh, Joe Hamster's round at the final corner, and I'm not sure if there was any contact or... It's a very strange way to go for Joe Hamster. I fear there may have been contact from Ricey Spicy. But
yeah, that one, unfortunately.
Yeah, very, very weird one. Joe Hamster just suddenly, the rear end went mid-corner, which suggests to me there was a bit of a tap from the Red Bull, but I guess we'll know if it ends up in the steward's office. More people picking up 3-second time penalties. That was another black side and another. Kuipers can't find a way past the Ferrari, but it looks like as...
Gotti's made a mistake, I think, now, and Ryan's got past. Looked like maybe he got a little bit sketchy out of the hairpin at the top of the hill, and... yeah, another yellow. I'm not sure that's
looked like it was possibly for Matty.
Quite possible, yeah. It was around about. He seemed to be the only person in that area then where the yellow flag came out. So.
Meanwhile, JC Battigal gets past Pampoen up into turn 13. So the Ferrari up to it. Yeah, everything's going on here, isn't it?
It's too much. There's too much going on. Calm down, everyone. Yeah, Owen dropping back. Really, this again. Maybe I was very wrong, but I thought this would be the point the medium started to struggle. But actually, he seems to be struggling on the hards now, and that's Melanade, I think, going back.
Yeah, good old Melanado down at turn 15, and it looks like Kuipers has. Well, he's down the inside of the Mercedes and he completes the move on the exit of turn 1. So up into 9th for the championship contender.
Yeah, Pampoen's great start. He was up to 8th at one point, starting to just drop back a little bit. But I'm sure he'll still be pleased with where he is. He's got a hell of a gap now back to Ricey Spicy, so he'll want to try and maintain that as much as possible and get some points. Meanwhile,
Roddo now gets past Scotty. I think Scotty's struggling on those mediums. Potentially the rears are starting to cry, and yeah, it doesn't look like he's got the same sort of traction he'd have liked through a couple of the corners in the last couple of laps. Although it looks like he retaliate against Roddo down the back straight. Roddo with no DRS. The Aston Martin goes one way, goes the other, goes back the other way, and it is not going to happen on this occasion. The McLaren of Roddo staying ahead. Kent picks up 3 seconds. I think that's his second lot of 3 seconds now. He lasted a little bit longer than his first penalty.
Yeah, Kent is the first person to go to 6 now, so everyone else on 3 as it stands.
Side by side between Blackside and Martins. Keza now picks up a 3-second time penalty. Blackside holding on to 12th at the moment. Down into turn 15 they go. No one.
Scotty in the pits. Scotty in the pits.
There we go. So the Aston Martin, the first man to blink. Kuiper's in. Pampoen is in. JC Battigal stays out. So 3 of the top 10 in the pits now.
You'd have to think now, will the likes of Roddo react to Scotty coming in? Will they just try and stick it out a bit longer? I mean, Roddo has no DRS. He's out of DRS, so it might be wise for him to come in now. I'm sure his engineer's shouting box at him down the phone line.
Oh, Melanade retired in the pit lane,
Okay.
so no threat of a safety car, which does work on this track.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been a disaster for the guys that just pitted. If a safety car would have come out then, that would have been horrific for them. But
yeah,
lucky
I mean,
for them, nothing serious.
We know someone who's been dealt that hand.
I'm saying no more on that one.
Meanwhile, Martin is on the tail of the Alfa Romeo. Sorry, into turn 11 they go. Blackside, this car is an absolute rocket ship as Ginger Tiger lets get past Simply. But this Alfa Romeo is an absolute rocket ship in a straight line. Even with DRS, they can't get close to it.
The Alpha Tauri is as well, because Simply's just gone blasting past. Yellow flag currently, I believe, for Melanado's retiring car, so that's cleared now.
Sunboy all over the back of the Alpha Tauri into 13. Again, can't quite make anything work. Blackside, Martin, side by side. Blackside, I think a little bit of technical difficulties there from the Alfa Romeo as Ryan in the pits, but Roddo stays out.
Yeah, the medium guy's still at the front, continuing on. Let's have a look. We've got sector 3 yellow flag.
That's Simply.
Like Simply, it's not having a great night tonight, unfortunately, for Simply. But yeah, Scotty here, he's come out in. He's got quite a lot of clean air in front of him at the moment, but he's come out behind Ryan.
But he will have warm tyres. I mean, he was behind Ryan when he did pit, so it's about right. But he is on warmer tyres now. And as we know with those hards, that's a massive advantage when you're on the same compound.
Absolutely. I mean, looking at this now, you'd have to say that anyone at the front now that pits is safe from traffic. I think they're not going to get held up by anyone. So yeah, no risk of getting stuck and given an advantage to any of the guys that have yet to pit.
I do wonder if the guys at the front are kind of hanging this one out just to give them the best possible tyres at the end of this race, because as we do know, this is a harsh track on tyre wear. The hards will wear out if we stay green all the way to the end. They're not going to be very pretty come the end of this race, so I wonder if that's kind of the play by everyone as Matty Rudd gets past Ginger Tiger with the help of some DRS assistance.
Yeah, Maddie trying to rebuild his race here. Ivan and Lewis in the pits now.
As is Ruddo, and I think Kez having to take one for the team of Haas. Staying out one lap extra to make sure he doesn't get the double stack treatment. The question is, where's Ryan? Ryan just coming out of the last corner. Where is he going to filter out? Will be past JC Battigal, past Ruddo, which is, as was, yellow flag, not quite sure who for. There's Ruddo. So I think back in pretty much the order they were in before the round of pit stops there.
Yeah, not a huge amount of changes there. Joe Hamster with 3 seconds there added to his post-race time again. So, not ideal.
I think the worst thing here is really...
Softs.
That's
an interesting move. Yeah, that obviously that was not going to get him anywhere near the end of the race. Yeah, unsure about that one.
Yeah, I wonder if that's a bit of a mistake on the menu for the tyre selection. The only bad thing here for Ruddo is he does have a little bit fresher tyre, but he's 1.5 away from Scotty, and you feel that's now going to be a little bit uncatchable with Scotty in the DRS of Ryan, and Ryan now almost within DRS range of Lewis.
Yeah, there's a few guys here now. I mean, Ruddo is well off of Scotty now for DRS, so it's starting to get a bit spread out at the front as Keza comes in the pits. It'll be interesting to see where he comes out now. Could drop him back a fair bit from where he was, I think.
Yeah, and you want me to find out.
As his teammate goes past. He might actually drop back out into third here.
He does. That's very well done by the Haas team. Although Kuipers picks up another 3 seconds. I think he's now got 6. Ricey goes fastest on track, a 1:37.215. But we are waiting. Ginger Tiger, the first man onto the mediums for a second stint. We are waiting for those that were on the hards to come in for medium, so we do have potential for that lap time to be lower. And yeah, I'm not quite sure what Kuiper's up to here. I mean, you feel maybe he's hoping really for a safety car. He's maybe hoping to make his way up a fair few positions, and then a safety car comes out, so he gets another free pit stop.
Yeah, sorry, excuse me. Yeah, potentially. Obviously, there's only so long you can wait. I mean, the guys have been pretty well behaved so far. I'm sure, as I've said that now, something drastic's going to happen very soon. But you can always try and hold out for that safety car, but it's not guaranteed, is it? As we got a yellow flag.
And that's Joe Hamster. Looks like he's got going again though, so we remain green. And it looks like to me black side whilst his car is I'd say that's a little bit early from Owen, but maybe trying to protect as much as he can from the undercuts.
Maybe he's just seen the other guys go 14 laps on the medium, so thinking, well, if they can do it, I can too. Especially with the lighter fuel in the car as well.
He's lost a lot of places here though. He's down behind Lewis, behind Ryan. Contact and Owen round.
I saw the contact. I didn't have the best view to see what who could have been at fault for that one. From experience, I know it can be very tight coming at that pit lane with other cars, at full racing speed. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what comes of that one.
And I'll tell you what, this has brought Ruddo back into the train with the DRS. So as Scotty gets past Ryan now through turn 10, here comes Owen down the inside.
Contact. That's Ryan off the road. He's still going.
Yeah, I do believe the contact at turn 1 was between Owen and Ryan, so Owen maybe just being a little bit more aggressive than usual there, as he now looks to the inside of Scotty and back up into 4th place. And here comes Ryan. He makes an opportunistic move to the inside of Scotty, but that's not quite going to pay off. And Ruddo sitting there with a bucket of popcorn, watching this fight develop. But Owen's got a lot of work ahead of him. 3.6 now to Lewis the Beaker for the Alpine driver. And a lot more seconds to the leading Hasses.
Yeah, obviously Owen has the luxury of the two guys in front of having penalties at the moment. And he's clean. Ruddo now looking to the inside.
And Matty Rudd's round. A little bit of contact between him and Ginger Tiger into turn 13. And the McLaren round down to 16th. It's not been a good day for Matty Rudd, as gaps are now very much open everywhere.
Yeah, this does appear to be the best battle now. I say for 4th, it's probably more like for 5th, because I fully expect Owen on those medium tyres to start pulling a gap now on the guys at the yellow flag in sector 3, which
Kuiper's last turn.
And yeah, just rejoining the track now, so soft tyre's not working for Kuiper's at the moment. I don't know whether he's just trying to set a fastest lap. And a yellow flag in sector 2 as well. I think that's
Ricey Spicy
again.
Yeah, Ricey Spicy as Ruddo, not caring about that, looks to the inside of Ryan. He's got DRS, the Ferrari doesn't. And Ruddo up into 6th place for now, and he's got a little bit of pace on those hard tyres as Ruddo, now that he's got them to fire up. The question is, can he get onto the back of Scotty? Pampoen gets past Sunboy, courtesy of a bit of DRS aid. And I think Simply is probably going to be the next person to make a move, as he's right on the back of Matty Rudd. Matty Rudd, no DRS. Simply will have DRS, so this should be a simple procession.
No, he doesn't seem to. You can't get him. I mean, Matty harvesting as well down the back of the straight. Owen now setting the fastest lap, so absolutely showing his intent here for this race. It's going to be hard work, I think, to catch Ivan, but obviously he's going to try his hardest. And yeah, I think the battle for Ruddo, really, he'll be looking to just try and stay within those 3 seconds of Scotty, I should imagine. Going to be tough, I think, from this point to get any higher than 5th for him, but still plenty of drama to be had, I'm sure.
Absolutely, and currently we're looking at 15th place, Matty Rudd. I think Joe Hamster's having a battle with Ken. This is for 18th place. This is quite literally at the back of the pack, but this is one of the very few battles we have on offer at this moment in time. And Joe Hamster just about holding on to 18th place. I don't know if you can check what the penalties are, Bruce, because both of them have penalties. I believe Kent has 6, maybe Joe Hamster 3, as Kent looks down the inside of turn number 1. Joe Hamster will look for the switchback. Has he got enough drive? The question is, and the answer is no. So Joe Hamster loses out.
Both Kent and Joe sporting a very healthy, chunky 6 seconds right now. Only those two have 6 seconds on the track at the moment. Everyone else currently on 3.
Lovely. Obviously, Ginger Tiger just behind Sunboy, but Sunboy on those fresher mediums by 4 laps, which is quite a lot, really, in terms of the medium tyre wear. Simply, once again, all over the back of Matty Rudd. Matty Rudd squeezes him all the way.
I think that was a bit aggressive there from Matty. Say no more, but he's coming back now at Simply.
Oh, more contact.
Simply throwing his hands in the air. I would say like he just don't care, but I think he does care. And now he's trying to get in the inside of Matty. Runs Matty off. This is a very feisty battle here.
Oh, and a collision back on him.
Round.
And that's Matty out.
I think, to be fair, that was the end result of a bit.
And we have a virtual safety car. Virtual safety car now.
A bit aggressive from both drivers there, I have to say. That was only going to end one way, I think. Yeah,
very much looked very retaliatory, shall I say, in that battle. But obviously the virtual safety car, in theory, should neutralise the race, but if you're kind of clever with your delta, there is a chance you can catch someone napping. And Kuipers takes this opportunity to get some new tyres on. He's gone for softs again. So not quite the free pit stop he was hoping for, but he can certainly take away the fastest lap from Owen from that position.
Yeah, obviously running softs, that's about all he can do really now. Which is a shame because we know Kuipers is fast. It's not worked out for him so far tonight. Owen will be slightly gutted. I think this isn't a full safety car. The shunt was big enough to be a full safety car, but virtual it is. And he's still going to fancy his chances here of getting past the guys in front and closing those penalty gaps.
Kuipers
penalty. No
just goes from bad to worse for the AlphaTauri man. As we get back underway, we're going to focus on Owen here because he is just 6/10 away from the podium spot. I mean, technically he's already got that podium spot courtesy of penalties, but no driver likes to take it via penalties. They all like to take it on the track.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you still wouldn't complain if you got it because of penalties, but yeah, getting the moves actually done is far more satisfactory than doing it on times of Ricey Spicy with 3 seconds.
He's down in 10th there. He's got to be close to nearly losing that place to Martin.
I think that would be Lewis. Stay in the back straight. And not really much of an answer there to that, unfortunately, for Lewis, and Kuipers retires in the pits.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. The day was going from bad to worse for Kuipers. And you can normally tell when someone's coming in the pits to retire because they normally get a speeding in the pit lane penalty where they just really don't care at that point. But Owen up into third, but 3.6 to Keza. Keza, I believe, has 3 seconds worth of time penalties. I mean, I think Ivan is probably too much of an ask now for Owen.
I mean, it depends. He was showing good pace on the hards. 8 laps to go. Yeah, he'd have to be taking 8 tenths a lap out here. We've got a yellow flag there.
Simply.
No, it's not Simply. Is that the retiring car of Kuipers? Sorry, I think.
Oh, it could be Kuipers, yeah, actually, yeah.
It's not out of the realms of possibility. Keza does indeed have 3 seconds, so Owen will first and foremost want to close that gap to get it under the 3 seconds. It's not impossible, I don't think.
No, and as Ryan picks up 3 seconds, so that's not going
as well.
Scotty picks up another.
So that takes him to 6 seconds, which would actually still only drop him down to 6th place behind Ruddo, as Ryan now has a 3-second penalty. Otherwise, he would have been down to 7th. So
it's becoming the race of penalties. This.
It's always that sort of risk around this circuit, with it being, it's that first sector. It's so easy to do in the penultimate corner, very easy to run wide to pick up those penalties. Sometimes just not getting penalised is key.
Interesting here from Lewis, because Owen's not dropped him. Lewis is very much keeping him on his toes as Sunboy, the two Williams are side by side into 12, and Sunboy will take that. He's on the medium tyre, so probably a sensible thing to let him go. Simply, I think, has now finally managed to get alongside Blackside, and he's dispatched of him for 14th. So good news for him. But yeah, Lewis is keeping Owen on his toes.
Yeah, absolutely. He's still sticking in there. I mean, I'm keeping an eye now on Owen. He's 5.5 down into this lap, so it'd be interesting on Ivan. So it'd be interesting to see what he is at the end of this lap. You want to be down to that 5 seconds really minimum. Otherwise, you'd have to say 2nd place probably is where he's going to be.
Yeah, obviously now Lewis outside that 1 second, but I think he might have been just within on the detection point. No, he wasn't, so this is perfect for Owen, because it now means he hasn't got the pressure behind him for Lewis, because Owen will get away from that Red Bull in this 3rd sector, just purely on traction. And Blackside picks up a 3-second time penalty. It's going to be interesting, as we have a spinner, I believe, of Ginger Tiger. Yeah, Ginger Tiger's just got going again, just ahead of Simply. And JC Battigal is now on the back of Ryan. Now, these two are teammates. Let's just have a quick look. Both of them on the same penalty, so let's see if Ferrari... I'm going to assume here there'll be no team orders, because, let's face it, none of them are really going to be catching Ruddo nor staying ahead of him, so we could end up with a bit of a teammate battle for 7th place.
So, yeah, Owen just taken half a second out of Ivan, so at that rate it's obviously not going to be enough to catch up with having to get past Keza as well, and I'm sure Keza's obviously going to back his teammate up and make it difficult. Whilst obviously fairly, but can make it difficult for Owen to get past, just to give Ivan that extra bit of buffer as well.
It's an awkward one for Keza though, because obviously with that 3-second penalty, he does want to back up Owen, but to some degree he also doesn't, because right now Keza at 3 seconds, Keza will have 3rd place still at present, if I'm not wrong. And that's a very nice points haul as Ginger Tiger's round at turn 1. Yeah, it's a very nice points haul for Haas, and you feel that if Keza starts to hold her own too much, Keza's got every chance of kind of dropping behind Lewis the Beaker and allowing Lewis into the fray. And you kind of feel it's wasted points that don't really need to be wasted if that were to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you've got to be careful when managing these things, I suppose. But the obviously the guys around with the penalties will make that slightly easier. And that's a yellow
Joe
card.
Hamster.
Ruddo, but he's got going again.
Ruddo is now less than half a second behind the Aston Martin of Scotty. So we're going to have a bit of a fight here for 5th place. And Ruddo really... he just has to play this sensibly, just nothing silly, just pretty much only make the move if it's absolute guaranteed to be safe, because Scotty's got the penalty, people behind have the penalty. yeah, he just needs to just finish this, doesn't he?
Yeah, really, in this position now for Redo, he's got absolutely nothing to gain and everything to lose. Really, it's yeah, just manage the gap to Scotty with Ryan 6.5 seconds behind. There's no risk, I don't think, of him catching Scotty and Redo. So yeah, there is no benefit to throwing one down the inside really at this point in the race.
Down into the hairpin of 11.
Good battle for 8th at the moment here. Sorry, 7th. Sorry, between Ryan, JC Batical, and Pampone, all on 3 seconds worth of penalties. So this is a straight fight at the moment for 7th place.
Ruddo looks to the inside of Scotty for now, and that's a move made for the McLaren up into P5 as Joe Hamster 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. I'm going to assume he'll be retiring the car. I could be wrong. He could be coming out on a set of softs to try and nick fastest lap. He's got softs on.
Got you there? Not.
Oh, hello, Ferrari side by side, and JC Batigal down the inside of 15. Sorry, Bruce, he just sent one down the inside of his teammate, and it's paid off there for JC Batigal into 7th place. He's been looking like troubling Ryan for a move here, and he's finally got one made. Question is, can Pampone replicate this and get past Ryan for 8th?
Yeah, he's not quite got to drive off the final corner there for Pampone, but I don't think this battle's over. Ryan's coming back at JC Batigal.
Back over the inside, Ferrari v Ferrari.
And JC Batigal comes back. Well, this is a great fight. Absolutely brilliant.
The Ferrari pit wall are looking, especially at this battle, they don't want these two to take each other out, but unfortunately, I don't think what plan they're on. This is the situation they've got.
This is definitely plan E, I think, for them at the moment with Ferrari, but yeah, they've managed to, even despite that fighting, they've managed to gap Pampone a bit, but Pampone's got straight back up with them, so yeah, this three-way fight's going to continue for some time.
Down the back straight we go. JC Batigal will have DRS over his teammate. The only thing is, Ryan, I'm not quite sure of the exact levels, but Ryan's not harvesting. He's not got that red flashing light, so we'll have a bit of ERS to defend. Question: how much penalty does Ricey Spicy have? Because he's now starting to close in on this battle.
Yeah, I was about to say, I just noticed from the back end then of the second Ferrari that there's a wild Ricey Spicy appearing very quickly in the distance. He's just ripped 3/10 out of them in that one little complex of corners there, so all this fighting's just going to make this a four-way fight, I think.
Through the penultimate corner, JC Batigal. He's still looking all over his teammate Orion. Absolutely no team orders. Blackside has lost communication with the car. Hopefully he can get back in before the end of this race.
Ricey Spicy down to just over 1 second now behind these guys in front.
Oh, JC Batigal round the outside. He's going to look for the drive. He's got the drive. Side by side through turn 2 once again. Down towards the S's. Turns 3, 4, 5. They're still side by side through the S's. More contact between the two Ferraris and contact with Pampone.
And Ricey Spicy is back in the hunt. I mean, I think that was just racing Pampone's all over the grass.
I fear that there's a broken front wing for Pampone there.
That was
a pretty heavy hit.
But yeah, I'm trying to see from Ricey Spicy, but I can't quite see. The end plates look to be there, so yeah, not sure, maybe a bit of damage on the nose perhaps, but yeah, Ricey Spicy's probably just sat there watching that thinking, thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, and very unfortunate for Pampone as well, kind of an innocent bystander in the Ferrari battling. Ricey Spicy down the outside of Ryan, and that job is done. The Red Bull up into 8th place, and considering the amount of times Ricey Spicy's gone down the field, he's found himself in an okay position here.
Yeah, well, the same happened now. Joe Hamster with the fastest lap. Well, he's going to get something out of the evening. Well, he's not going to get any points, but he's got at least a few bragging rights for fastest lap at the moment anyway. But yeah, Ricey Spicy, the same in Spa really. The amount of incidents he was involved in and still, was there or thereabouts at the end. So yeah, Pampone seems to have... he's not closed the gap back, unfortunately, on Ryan. So yeah, I suspect damage, and they'll just now want to try and stay ahead of some boy with these last 2 laps.
Meanwhile, Owen's charge has faltered a little bit, 2.5. But Ivan, I don't know if Ivan has basically... I tell the Haas team are about to work together here, Bruce. Ivan's dropped back towards Keza to give him some DRS assistance. And this is surely to try and get him 3 seconds ahead of Owen.
Yeah, it's... I was just saying there was another car there, but I think that is Joe Hamster, isn't it, in the...
Yeah, he's just getting out of the way as a back marker.
Now, so good stuff from Joe there, doing the right thing. But yeah, I mean that's clever, really clever from Haas if they can make it work. Obviously, the last thing now that Ivan want to do is make a small mistake and have Owen right on him. But yeah, smart stuff, great teamwork. Let's see if it works.
Yeah, I mean the gap's dropped between Keza and Owen through this third sector at the moment, down to 2.2. It was 2.5. So this plan. We'll keep an eye on the plan, because obviously we've still got JC Batagor, who's going to have a fight with Ricey Spicy at some point, I think, in the last lap. And I think did Owen just make a mistake, or has it just looked a bit? Just looked a bit slow on the map. That was all. JC Batagor though, 0.6 ahead of Ricey Spicy as we head into the final couple of corners for the 27th time with these two drivers.
Yeah, Owen's still within the 3 seconds. He's just come through the S's now.
He's still closing as well.
He is, yeah. I mean, it's going to be down through this next sector. I don't think Owen's going to get close enough to get any DRS off Joe Hamster, which I think he still would if he was within 1 second of the lap car. But this is going to be the decisive factor. But I think 9/10 of a second down the straight, it's unlikely that Keza will pull that.
Owen does not have DRS, but it doesn't really look like it's going to matter much. I reckon he may have some ERS to play with down the back straight to counter that. But wherever you are, stand up wherever you are, because this is a bit of a magical moment. No matter when someone wins a race, it's always a magical moment. But between these three, they've driven superbly in terms of this race. They've kept it fairly clean, all bar Kez's 3-second penalty. As Ricey Spicy is past JC Batagor down at turn 12, but it is Ivan Belov who wins the United States Grand Prix from Keza. Owen will take second place instead from Keza due to the penalty. Lewis the Beaker in fourth. Ruddo, a very well driven, very cleanly driven as well for the McLaren, to take fifth place with no real issues. Scotty will be in sixth. Ricey Spicy will come home seventh after a lovely drive through the field. Some boys managed to get past Pampoa near the end. JC Batagor 8th. Ryan will come home 9th. Sunboy 10th. I think that just confirms that Pampoa definitely has some form of front wing damage, because Sunboy was a little bit far behind him. Martin 12th. Simply 90. It's been a disastrous day for the AlphaTauri camp. 13th for Simply and a retirement for Kuipers. But 13th is the position for Simply. Ginger Tiger is going to be in 14th. Blackside CZE Bot is going to be in 15th. Not quite sure what the ruling will be on that one. I do believe if you complete 90% of the race, you get what your AI gets at the end, so it'll be interesting to see how that one gets ruled on. Joe Hamster already finished in 17th, and Kent will come home in 16th. And an interesting thing, Bruce, that Joe Hamster's fastest lap is quicker than last season's fastest lap by Easty Mats.
Yeah, great effort there from Joe. Obviously, he's going to be disappointed with how the race turned out in the end, but yeah, fastest lap of the day. I'm sure it's not really much of a consolation as such, but yeah, still a good effort to show your pace.
Yeah, absolutely. Simply 90, the game-giving drive of the day. I'm not sure that would be my pick, unfortunately, but as we get to the podium, two Haas on the podium. This is what Haas needed in terms of constructors. In comparison, obviously, they've taken 1 and 3. McLaren have only taken a 5th place. So this is going to close that gap up quite nicely as we head, I say into the season break, but we're not going to get one because next week we're heading to Azerbaijan for the rerun. Yeah, this is closed up quite nicely for the constructors.
Yeah, absolutely. Ivan was delighted to get back to winning ways, I'm sure. Yeah, it's like as you say, it's just going to close it up a little bit more in all aspects. And yeah, with Azerbaijan next week, obviously, hopefully it'll run a bit smoother than last time out earlier on this year, and we'll get some good racing.
So yeah, Bruce, you want to take us through the provisional race results for the United States Grand Prix?
Absolutely. So yeah, Ivan Beloff there, back to the top step of the podium with a fine win. Owen doing a great job there in second. Keza third and Lewis Dabika fourth. Ruddo fifth with Scotty sixth. Ricey Spicy having to fight back through after a number of mistakes again in seventh with JC Batical eighth. Ryan ninth and Sunboy 10th. Pampoen, a great effort from Pampoen, but unfortunately with that damage at the end, just missing out on the points with 11th. SFR Martin 12th, Simply 90 13th. Ginger Tiger 14th, with Blackside 15th, Kent 16th, Joe Hampton 17th, and Kuipers, Matty Rudd, and Melonade all DNFs.
So it looks like we've got the two PlayStation podium runners in. I'll just message Owen to see if we can get a write-up from him. So we'll get to the podium, the two house drivers very shortly. But yeah, fantastic race from everyone. But we'll start with Keza tonight. Congratulations, Keza, third place for yourself. Obviously, it could have been slightly better had you not got your track limits penalty there.
Yeah, that pretty much ruined for second place. But I think I've somehow been hiding this pace all season. I don't know how, but I think tonight just shows I can drive with the fastest in this league, and I am capable of getting good points. But with a bit of consistency, I think anything's possible.
Yeah, absolutely, and as you say, you've definitely shown pace throughout the season. It's almost just trying to string that race together to kind of bring it all together.
Yeah, I had this problem last season as well. I think I sort of had the consistency was quite terrible at the start of the season. Then towards the end, I'd pick up results. So hopefully, it comes back this season again, and then me and Ivan can challenge for the constructors.
When you came into the pits, obviously you went a lap longer than Ivan. Obviously, both of us, me and Bruce, assumed that was because you didn't want to do that double stack with Ivan. Were you expecting to be a bit closer to the chasing pack? Because obviously all of those guys had been out, they got their tyres warmed up. Were you expecting them to have a bit more of a better undercut in comparison to you?
Yeah, I did a practice before this, and the overcut when I did the first time was, I think, worth 2-3 seconds. But I think only having a lap overcut was sort of evened out the pace. I did expect to be a bit further towards Ivan and a bit further away from the chasing pack, but I kept my pace consistent, and that's all that matters really. Third place is a third place.
Absolutely. Bruce, any questions for Keza?
Yeah. Towards the end of the race, there we saw Ivan just drop back a bit. Was it a sort of a conscious decision within the team for him to get you within DRS range to try and gap Owen, or was that just Ivan just backing off a bit towards the end?
Well, I'd assume it was to get the DRS because I had the penalty, but it nearly worked. I was 5/10, but I gained 5 or 6 tenths in the last sector on the last lap from Owen's mediums dropping off. But yeah, I would have figured it would be a conscious decision to drop back and try and get the gap.
Yeah, well, congratulations, Keza, for third place. If I'm not mistaken, your first podium of this season.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken. So congratulations to that. We go to Ivan. Congratulations, Ivan. another your second victory of the season, but we'll start off kind of off the back of Bruce's question there. Was it a conscious decision to try and get Keza that gap at the end, because you did slow down a lot, quite a lot near the end of that race?
Yeah, that's true. I tried to give the rest for Chiesa, but I think I did it maybe a little bit late. I tried, but yeah, I should have done it a little bit earlier.
Really?
So I just thought about P2. Oh, sorry, 1-2, and tried to do it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Obviously, what were your thoughts in terms of, because obviously Owen went with that alternate strategy of hards first, medium second. Were you expecting him to be a little bit closer near the end of that race? Because it looked like Owen had good pace on the hard tyres to start with. So it kind of looked like he was going to kind of close up come the end of that race. Were you expecting that from him rather than the gap that you got in the end?
I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I saw that Owen was like 1 second faster than me in the beginning of his second stint, and I was like, "Oh, Chiesa, man, please fight like a lion with him." But then I managed the gap, and it was okay.
Absolutely, and obviously this is perfect for your championship. You're leading coming into this race. You're definitely going to be leading on the way out, and it's a good day for team and constructors to try and catch back up to the McLarens.
Yeah, that's true. Good recovery after Belgium, where I was disconnected, and good points tonight for both of us.
Bruce, any questions for the race winner?
Yeah, obviously well done on the win tonight. As you say, Belgium obviously didn't go quite to plan, and obviously no points in Austria. But every race you finished in the points, you've been on the podium. You'd have to think now, as long as you can sort of keep that consistency up, that obviously it's early days, but that championship is easily reachable, possibly towards the end of the season.
I agree, but I don't think about that. It's too early, and I just try to do my best, and I just try to be consistency, and that's all.
That's great. Well, congratulations, Ivan, on the victory tonight. I do have a little write-up from Owen. Obviously, Owen unable to join us in the comms box as he is on a PC and doesn't have the PS app. Owen has said another half-decent qualifying helped today. Great pace from the Haas guys. Just about kept them behind in the sprint, but couldn't catch Ivan in the race. Flawless race from him. He also apologised to Ryan for a bit of contact. Sounds like a bit of wheel issues may have caused a bit of contact down the DRS straight. But congratulations, Owen, anyway, on second place. And Bruce, it was up and down that race. You had a lot of action or not a lot of action.
Yeah, standard COTA really. It is synonymous in the past with being quite spread out the racing, but yeah, there was kind of almost always something to look at, whether that was at the front or the mid pack or even towards the tail end of the field. So I think we were treated to a decent race there from the guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously next week we go for the rerun of Azerbaijan. We try that one again. And if anything on the original was to go by in terms of pace, it's going to be a good race.
Yeah, there was obviously quite a bit of drama in that race before the red flag was thrown. So, yeah, again, we're going back to Azerbaijan, a circuit with the walls in close proximity. It's going to be one of those circuits where it's not over till it's over, and anything could happen right up to the checker flag.
Absolutely. But from myself and Bruce, you have been watching the Invictus Racing League Tier 2 in partnership with gridfinder.com. If you have enjoyed the stream tonight, don't forget to like the stream and subscribe to the Invictus Racing League YouTube channel, where we do have more live racing this week. Obviously, if you subscribe, put on your notifications, you don't miss a stream for the race. But tomorrow we do have the top tier guys. Tier 1 comes live from Kota. That will be brought to you by myself and Sab. Unfortunately, we're unable to make tomorrow. We wish him. Actually, hope everything is all okay with Webbo. But yeah, me and Sab will bring you that tomorrow, and then Malc and Tim will bring you the Realistic Performance League, which Bruce and Keza race in on Thursday again, all at 8 o'clock UK time. But for myself and Bruce, thank you all for watching tonight. We hope to see you next week for Azerbaijan.